We begin the hour in Somalia, where calm is returning after an anti-government rally in Mogadishu. Gunfire erupted in the Somali capital early Friday, with protesters running for cover. Military vehicles were later seen sealing off the area. This comes a day after opposition leaders called for new elections and days after a car bombing near the presidential palace killed at least one person. Violence in the country has escalated in recent weeks as Qaeda-linked insurgents step up attacks. Our correspondent Abdulaziz Bilo joins us via Skype now from Mogadishu. Abdul, what's the latest from there?
Well, Penina, things are back to normal right now. A few minutes ago, there was a sporadic gunfire around the airport area, that is the green zone area. And there was a protest actually at around 10:30 a.m. Somali time. The protest was being led by key opposition figures, including the former Somali Prime Minister, Hassan al-Khaire, a staunch critic of President Farmajo, whose name is Abdurrahman Abdushakur, alongside other members of parliament who are anti-government. And also, there were also a few demonstrators also with them. The demonstration was taking place at the green zone area that leads towards the Mogadishu International Airport. Security forces did open fire and dispersed the protesters, including the former government official like Prime Minister Hassan al-Khaire, and all of the others ran for cover. There was a video that was circulating on social media showing at that exact moment when the gunfire erupted. And during that gunfire, a few rocket-propelled grenades, RPG rifles, did manage to strike a restaurant that is inside the heavily fortified Mogadishu airport compound. There's been some destruction there according to the pictures we've seen, but there's official no communication yet from the Somali government or from the African Union force inside the Mogadishu airport. But the UN has called on Somali leaders to open a line of communication so that the conflict that's taking place here in the capital can come to an end. And also last night there was also clashes between government forces and forces loyal to key opposition figures around the presidential palace area, where two opposition leaders planned to launch a massive gathering at the place called the Jirka Dason to pressure the government to conduct elections and to pressure President Farmajo to strike a deal with regional and federal leaders. So the protest did take place at the airport, but it did not take place at the initial area where they planned yesterday.
And Abdul, have those calls for protests affected the planned meetings for talks on elections?
Well, according to the office of the Somali president, there was a meeting that was due to take place from the 18th to the 19th of December. That was yesterday and today, but only two regional leaders managed to arrive here in the capital, Mogadishu, alongside the other federal leaders. So the rest are still in their respective regions, and it's not clear whether they will be arriving today or tomorrow. So there's also the opposition. They're also urging the other regional leaders not to come to Mogadishu, citing security concerns, so that the meeting should not take place in Mogadishu. But the office of the president did call on regional leaders to come to the capital to strike a deal and end the electoral stalemate, because elections were due to take place since last year, but they've been delayed time and time again. And the militant group Al-Shabaab has taken advantage of these delays and has launched deadly attacks, including a car bomb recently at a security checkpoint leading to the airport. There are also a number of mortar shells targeting the Somali senior leadership who are meeting in central Somalia to discuss the electoral stalemate. So the opposition, on the other hand, they want the current president of Somalia, Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo, to declare that he's just a candidate and he should just hand over the presidency to a transitional national authority that will be headed by the Speaker of the Senate and Parliament. But there's a law here in Somalia saying that the current office holders will remain in office until new occupants are elected. And until that happens, the government is of the view that that will not change. But for now, things have settled. There's sporadic gunfire a few minutes ago, but things have cooled now right now. The authorities are saying everything is under control.
All right, Abdul, thank you for that update. Abdulaziz Bilo joining us via Skype from Mogadishu.